August 13th, Friday. The next day I wake up to an oppressive heat. I drag my listless body outside and trudge to electronic shops in search of batteries. Since this is an older battery, I'm not having much luck finding what I need. By the time I get what I set out for, the sun is already set. Why are the lights in my room on? That's strange. I'm sure I shut them off when I left. I can hear faint sounds from the other side of the door. Something's definitely inside. It must be. It's rosé, but these choices suck. A burglar would have to be pretty cocky to rummage through my room with the lights on. I don't own anything worth stealing, but it's not like I can just let them take what they want. I hold my breath. I grab the doorknob and slowly turn it. There's no resistance. It's unlocked. I breathe in and cautiously crack the door open. Welcome back! I let myself in. What are you doing in my apartment? I want to talk with you before we head to the Black Rabbit. So you picked my lock? Yeah, waiting outside would have been so boring. What, does it bother you? Your expression looks like you can't decide whether to be embarrassed or angry. So what do you want to talk about? I'm sure you've heard all about me from Bond, so I don't see what else you'd want to know. I've heard about the underground matches, Ami's abduction, and Kubitaro's case, too. There was something I needed to hear, and I needed to hear it directly from your mouth. Bloodmetry, that strange power you claim to have. Do you know something about it? Yes, though it's just a hypothesis. That's better than me. I don't know the first thing about it. I suppose if I'm to be your teacher, I can't really turn down such a sincere request. That mysterious power of yours is an extension of your intuition. You might know it better as your sixth sense, a little something that warns you of danger. You're saying it's like my instincts? Yes, you could call it that too. Everyone possesses it to some extent, however your sixth sense is unusually keen. It's probably why you never lost any of those underground matches. Of course, you also had the physical abilities and reflexes to react to the danger you sensed. I kinda get a sense for what she's saying. When I focus during a fight, I just become so much more aware of my surroundings. That's gotta be that sixth sense. But the true value of your sixth sense isn't limited to that. Animals are fascinating, you know? Abilities that aren't necessary for survival are pruned. On the other extreme, they can awaken new abilities if they need them to survive. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? The day Ami disappeared, I met Kakuya. I knew that my life was in grave danger. You're saying that meeting woke my sixth sense, this bloodmetry power. Precisely. You're an excellent disciple. But not every person gains some great new power when they face imminent danger. I believe in your case that you likely already possess that ability. Perhaps a parent or ancestor of yours had spiritual powers. Don't ask me. My mother was just a normal woman. She didn't have any weird powers. And what about your father? I don't even know what the guy looks like. All I know is that he abandoned my mom. I see. I apologize if I upset you. I don't care. Anyway, you sure know a lot about the spirit world and all that. I must say it's nice to have a disciple who views my skills with such respect. But all my friends know everything we've just discussed. It's common knowledge. What kind of friends are those? You got a group of supernatural fanatics or something? A certain sponsor has hired me to investigate spirits and supernatural activities, and Bond's helping me with that. A group that investigates spirits? Sounds like something from a comic book. So who's this sponsor of yours? The head of a distinguished family you've heard of. He has some strange abilities himself. He uses a peculiar way of thinking to solve supernatural cases most people wouldn't consider. Like defending a spirit's attacks with a plastic sheet and broken umbrella. It's quite reckless. So that's a reference to Deathmark. What the hell kind of idiot is that? He looks like your basic sullen middle-aged man. Goes without saying that he is not my type. He's currently on an overseas business trip with a friend, which is why I have to traipse around investigating cases now. Although, thanks to that situation, I was able to meet a wonderful young man like you. Well then, it's about time. We should get going. By the way, Light, Do you happen to know if anyone's committed suicide in the apartment before? How should I know? Why would you just ask that out of the blue? There's an extremely ominous presence in the apartment. I didn't want to worry you, so I wasn't going to mention it, but I changed my mind. Have you experienced any unusual phenomena here? Yeah, a bunch of weird things have happened. I almost died once, too. Only once? And yet you seem pretty unfazed. Well, obviously I didn't die. And so much strange stuff has been happening lately that I might just be getting used to it. You're a pretty carefree kid. I sense a power in the apartment that draws spiritual beings to it. Like a famous suicide spot or a haunted area. Well, thanks. I feel all warm and fuzzy now. So what am I supposed to do? Without knowing what's causing it, it's hard to recommend an effective approach. Moving out would be the easiest solution. I really don't have time for that. And anyway, I'm not some weakling that's gonna move just because of some stupid ghost. I figured you'd say that. It's your life, do whatever you like. But if it starts getting on your nerves, just come talk to me. When we arrive at the Black Rabbit, the lights are on.
あら、いらっしゃい。
Welcome. Aunt Natsume is there, and she looks exhausted. I wasn't expecting to see you here. Yes, I won't be here long, though. I have to meet with a new detective. Her eyes are completely lifeless, although that's to be expected. For 2 weeks now, she's been doing anything and everything she can think of to find Ami. Police, detectives, flyers, the internet, none of it has helped. Would it help if I told her that Ami is alive, but being held hostage somewhere? Even if I did tell her that, there still wasn't anything she'd be able to do about it. Worse, if she gets involved, she could end up dying like Maruhashi. Despite that, should I tell her what I know about Ami's situation? Nope. I'm leaving. Aunt Natsume quickly leaves. After a bit, Rose, who was waiting outside, comes in. So, was that your aunt? She seemed so distraught it was painful to even look at her. Hey, sorry I'm late. That Mahjong game got intense at the end. What's the matter? What's got you two looking so serious? You are the most incorrigible, thick-headed man I have ever had the displeasure of meeting. You're beyond all hope. Death would be a kindness to you. What the heck are you so mad about? I don't have the energy to explain it to you. How's your investigation going? Don't you dare tell me that it slipped your mind and you wasted all your time playing Mahjong. Don't be ridiculous. I am a consummate professional. Here's all the info I found so far. He didn't have any friends or close relatives, so I wasn't able to get much. But I grilled Miroku's publisher and it paid off. I finally got my hands on this. Oh, so he originally wanted to be a doctor, did he? Changing career paths from doctor to an author is quite a drastic life change. The reason he did so is a mystery. Apparently he didn't talk about himself much. But it's doubtful that cash was the reason. The Miroku family is extremely well off. Yes, that's evident just based on that mansion. A poor author wouldn't be able to live like that. Apparently his publisher never once set foot in that house either. Seems like Miroku hated anyone intruding on his private life. So basically, if we are to learn about his private life, our only option is to rummage through that mansion. That's right. I also looked into what was recorded on that T-tape. The girl disappeared half a year ago. She was last seen at the intersection about a 5-minute stroll from the Miroku residence. I see, so that's why there are regular patrols around that area. But if that happened half a year ago, why are they still maintaining that patrol route? As it turns out, a number of other girls have disappeared around that area too. They're ancient cases though, so I didn't have time to dig into them. That concludes my report. Good work. Well then, should we head straight to the Miroku residence? We must unveil the truth that lurks within the darkness. We go our separate ways at Kisoji Station just like yesterday and each get on the train. Update. Yakumo Miroku was born in 1944, age 55, unmarried. Hometown of Tokyo, surgical intern after graduation. Sudden debut as new popular author at age 27. 1979 release of Dark Fairy Tales, kids horror book collection. Became a bestseller, becomes famous as horror author. Last work, Old Bamboo Cutter's Dream about Princess Kaguya. I reached the Miroku residence without any particular trouble today. Another wonderful night. I feel like we'll make great progress with our investigation. You got here fast today. Well, I learned after my trip here yesterday. Anyway, same plan as yesterday? Yeah, you and someone else go investigate. The other one stays behind to keep watch. Sound alright with you? Yeah, that's fine. Well, there is a flaw to this plan. Bon looks toward the Miroku residence. It might be the fact that we already explored most of the mansion yesterday. We already checked the hallway, the living room, and the bedroom, but there were no other rooms. Hang on a second. From the outside, the mansion looks like it would have a second floor, or at least an attic. But from what we saw yesterday, we didn't find stairs anywhere, right? Wait a moment, it doesn't necessarily need to have stairs, right? Maybe there's a ladder hidden somewhere? Rosé makes a good point. I missed those details on my first day of investigation. Let's take one more look around the rooms. That's all we can do. Just have to use our feet, eyes, and hands. Time's wasting. Let's get started. Alright. Let's take Rosé with us.
問題ない
Well, Bon, you're on lookout duty. Fine by me. I'll see you later then. Rosé, don't you go off doing anything on your own. Alright, let's get going. Has been cared for. Strange looking window. Take a look inside the mailbox, but there's nothing. Enter the Miroku residence. This better not be D-Man. A text. I open up the message. Jeez, dude, do you have no hobbies? How are you? It's D-Man. I've prepared your next riddle. Repeatedly hurry from the movement of the monster that moves without rest. The clock. Come now, look at that later. Focus on the investigation. I know, I'm coming. I think the clock's in here. What? Another phone call? As we stepped into the room, the loud ringing suddenly stopped. I've always hated that sound. I should check it out just in case. There's an old pendulum clock. Nothing happens when I stop the pendulum. Nothing happens. Okay, how do I pull up my text messages? Repeatedly hurry the movement of the monster that moves without rest. So we were just told to hurry. When I spin the long hand, the clock makes a noise. I open the glass door and a card falls out of it. Keyword there being repeatedly, as in you have to do it more than once. I lower my gaze to the writing on the card. Kinda wonder if I should make a text walkthrough of the game for this. Because I imagine a lot of people are annoyed by this guy like me. Devil mail. Emails sent by the devil. If you read them, you'll kill someone. Ordinary spam kind of makes me do that anyway. I mean, maybe devil mail's the Japanese word for spam? Some murderers have mentioned this urban legend when interrogated. The motives for the murders are unknown, as the attackers claim to be tempted by an evil spirit. In some cases, the victim and killer had never met. The only thing in common in each case was the mention of the devil. No trace of these mails were found, and no one remembered the contents exactly, except the subject line. It was that ex-detective guy who told me about these cases, though they came from a police officer he knew. Unluckily for me, this was the exact kind of case I enjoy. They're fun to work on, but I never get any compensation for it. I went and put an ad in the magazine with a warning not to open the mail, in hopes of finding someone who knew something. I got one response and met with them. My purpose then was to identify the sender. The IP address provider didn't exist, and I hit a dead end. A few months passed after I started investigating. That's when I got the mail myself on my cell, like it was coming after me. I went mad with joy when I saw devil mail in the subject line. What do you think was inside? An endless string of 4 letters. Liza. You know, I feel like I've seen an AI with that name. But that's not important right now. Those letters sound familiar? It was a case for Mr. K. This has gotten long, so time to wrap up. There's one more thing I'd like to mention that might be making you curious. That is, of course, who killed me. Don't be alarmed. The reason's not important, but curses have no effect on me. At any rate, the ex-detective's on the Liza case, so focus on your own problem. Best of luck to you. And this kind of reminds me. I did look up the Crane Wife and the Kaku Yako, or whatever it is. I couldn't find anything definite for the Kaku one. The closest thing I found was the Grudge story. Juan, husband finds out wife's cheating, kills her, kills the son, then the wife haunting him causes him to die. And then the Crane Wife thing is guy rescues a bird, a crane. To repay him, the crane takes on human form. The guy won't marry the crane because he's poor, so the crane starts using its feathers to weave clothes or something like that, and then sell the clothes for money. The ultimate outcome is the guy will eventually discover the woman is a crane, and then sometimes in the legend she leaves after that, sometimes she says stay, but stop doing the feather thing because it's hurting you, and then they live happily ever after. It's up to you if you want the tragic or the happy versions. Anyway, what's that, a card from some kind of game? Honestly, I'm not really sure. The pendulum swings without stopping. It's a rattan basket. The fruits inside are all black. The fruits inside the basket are all so old, they've all turned completely black. They're completely dried up. I pluck one fruit off of what seems to be a bunch of bananas. Gross, dude. We're gonna have to banish this ghost for wasting good food. Nothing in the shelf. I take the handset and put it up to my ear. I don't hear anything. Is the line connected? I turn on the flashlight and follow the telephone line coming from behind the shelf. I notice that something's stuck in between the storage shelf and the wall. I try wedging my hand in, but the crevice is too small and I can't reach it. Did you find something? There's something stuck between the shelf and the wall. The space is so tight my hand can't reach inside. Let's move the shelf then. Yeah, that's probably the best way. Let's try it. Need a hand? Yeah, just in case. Rose and I go to the sides of the storage shelf and... let's go. Here goes. On her call, I lift up the shelf. But... ha ha ha. Rose immediately starts laughing and let go. Come on, take it seriously. I'm sorry, it's just that I instantly realized I couldn't possibly lift it. I just lost all my motivation. It did feel a lot heavier than it looked. This is impossible for me. Guess it can't be helped. So now we need to go find a partner who doesn't suck. Guess we'll have to settle for Bon. Actually, you know what? Let's explore this first room here because I immediately made a beeline on account of the Mail. No shoes on the cabinet. So I imagine the stairs are back here. Or whatever takes you up. Okay, Bon, I need you to do some heavy lifting here. Let's try it. I'll give you a hand. Bon and I go to the sides of the storage shelf and... Alright, let's do this. Now, with this call I pick up the shelf. Perhaps the wood is dense because this thing is far heavier than it looks. It's heavier than I thought. We just need to move it a little bit. Don't hurt yourself, old man. I'm not a senior citizen, damn it. Here it goes. We move it a step or two and set it back down. Damn it, almost threw out my hip there. Did you get the thing? Yeah, it was on the floor. So what do you think it was? Quit playing around and show it to me. I light up the object with the flashlight and show him. It's a cassette tape labeled H. Looks like it was worth putting my hip at risk. I wonder what's recorded on this tape. Nothing there. So I guess you're just supposed to grab the tape and then go listen to it. Phone call. Okay, I'm not going to be finishing this in a sitting. Nothing about the boombox is different. There's no tape in it and the battery is just as we left it yesterday. That's right. I remember that I bought the replacement battery. I take the new battery from my pocket and swap the batteries. You're prepared? We shouldn't have any problems playing the tape now. Okay. Took out tape T, no point in listening to it again. I put tape H into the boombox. I press the play button. No sound comes out of the speakers. You sure that battery is good? Well, the tape is spinning just fine. Maybe it just hasn't gotten to the part where there's sound. Suddenly the phone from the next room rings. What the heck's going on? Are we supposed to answer the phone? But the tape is still spinning inside the boombox. Let's go take a look. This counts as my daily cardio, damn it. I summon up some courage, take the handset and put it to my ear. Radio noise? I hear something that sounds similar to when tapes are played back. I listen to the headset just hoping to hear something else. And this reminds me that I need to look in a corpse party. Please, just end it. Just kill me already. I almost fling the handset away in response to the scream that pierced my ear. Hey, what happened? I'm alright. It's nothing. I can't afford to miss any of it. I immediately return the handset to my ear once again. It hurts so much. Please, just end it. Just kill me already. What the hell is this? I hear a girl's voice pleading desperately. From further away, I hear the murmur of an old man. I see. I've always heard Soka as translated as something like, is that so? That's what he actually said if you didn't hear him. Sorry, I want to try to keep you alive. But that might be impossible with all 4 limbs cut off. The phone ended with a man's statement. It ended. Judging by your expression, I'm not sure if I want to hear what you heard, but guess I have to. Tell me what you heard. Alright. I described the girl's scream in the voice of the man who apologized. If what he said about cutting off all 4 limbs is literal and is true, then this is a recording of something truly terrible. The entire time I heard a sound that sounded like tape noise. I couldn't hear it directly, but I think it was what's recorded on the H-tape. All 4 limbs cut off, huh? What the hell is this guy thinking, apologizing when he's the one doing it? Sounds like the logic of a psycho. There's no point in thinking about it. We're trying to figure out why he became a psycho. What the hell? I can't contain my shock as my flashlight lights up an object on the ground. I gather myself and look at it again. Is this a doll? The object sitting on the bed seems to be a little girl doll. I'm no doll expert, but I can tell that it's more sloppily made than the Kakuya doll. Its clothes are dirty and there are a couple of reddish-black stains on it. It's wearing a weird mask. What the hell is this mask supposed to be? It has a beak, so is it a bird? Who cares? Let's check it out. I try pulling on the mask to remove it, but it won't budge, almost as if it's glued on. I ignore it for now and take a look at the clothes. I notice a reddish-black stain there. There's a reddish-black stain on the doll's clothing. This might be a blood stain. Looks like blood. Maybe I'll give it a try. I let out a breath to relax and press my fingertip to the blood. I hear a sniffling, crying sound. Along with it, I begin to hear a quiet voice. I'm famished. Famished. Light? Hey, is something wrong? No, I'm alright. I heard a voice. The voice was saying famished. What kind of name is Famish? Wait, is that a serious question? No, I'm saying that I have no idea what they mean by famished. That's what you mean. Well, the word famished means hungry. That's the first time I've ever heard of it. Is it from a weird dialect? Let's just leave this for another time. It's a waste of time explaining it. It's strange that a doll would be hungry, but that's what it sounds like it's saying. Let's give her some food. I take out the dried up fruit from my bag and place it on top of the doll's lap. The mask makes a sound and then the mask falls on the doll's lap. Pheasant mask and dried up fruit was used. I placed the pheasant mask on the frame.
Oh.
Looks pretty alright. Maybe it was hung up here. Just then I hear something move in the hallway. What's going on? I quickly remove the mask, but the shaking won't stop. Hey, look. Sounds like Navi. Eventually, the vibrating stops. The hallway entrance appears at the mud wall in front of me. Seriously? Is this a ninja lair or something? It's the first time I've seen an actual real trapdoor. But it looks like we saw a glimpse of the true face of the owner of this place. What are you talking about? There's only one type of person who would build something like this. A paranoid person. Someone who is possessed by something. Possessed by what? That's the million-dollar question, kid. Come on, time to see where this hidden passage leads. Oh, just head forward. We make our way down the extremely narrow path from the hidden entrance. It's really cramped. Well, there are rooms on both sides. This path probably goes between the 2 rooms. At the end of the path, there's another door. Looks like this is our only option. Let's see where this leads. I hear something walking on the roof. Nothing to investigate here. That's disappointing. Beyond that door. I open the door and I'm shocked to be looking at the front entrance of the Miroku residence. What? Hold on, wait a second. Is this really possible, huh? I mean, I don't believe it either, but it's actually happening. Hold on a second, keep calm. Chill out and take a look around. What I notice next is that the secret door I thought we opened earlier is now closed. Everything else seems to be the same. Why is the entrance to the secret passage closed again? I don't have a damn clue. I am positive that we entered the secret passageway and opened the door. Did something happen the moment we went through the door? The thought gives me an idea. Hey, we entered from the door located at the front entrance, right? So what happens if we try to leave? Like doing the opposite of what we just did. Yeah, if we end up back at the secret passage by doing that. I really did not want to think about it, but doesn't it seem like we'd be stuck in here? That's bad. Come on, let's try going outside. I rush to open the door, and once going outside, I see the unchanged Miroku residence once again. That's a relief. Scared me there for a second. Rose, our lookout, looks at the two of us with a confused expression on her face. You two certainly look like you're having fun. Did something happen? Yeah, you see. I retell what happened when we went through the secret passageway. Really, I can't believe it, but it must be true if you're saying it. Piecing all the information together, seems that when you enter the secret passage, you enter a different Miroku residence. A different Miroku residence? How is it different? I'm not sure. It could be in a different time, situation, just some specific state. We travel to a Miroku residence in a different state by entering that door, is what I mean. If we had to come up with an explanation, that's the hypothesis that makes the most sense. Assuming that you're correct, how is that even possible? There are some extremely powerful curses and thoughts that sometimes cause phenomena like this. Stairs that take you to the same floor, or an intersection that leads to the same place. So I remember the stairs in Deathmark. I don't remember if there was an intersection. There might have been. These are examples I've heard from someone who actually experienced them firsthand. I don't believe that at all, but I guess I have to since it's actually happening. If we're experiencing this phenomenon, then it means there are great dangers ahead. Are you going to continue investigating? I'm fully prepared to face these dangers. I've gone through it up until now. This is nothing. Attaboy, that's the one thing about you I like. Alright, then let's continue our investigation. Like, I'm wondering, am I supposed to swap her out for, or swap him for her, or... So, maybe there's a new doll here? Maybe? The moment I enter the room, I hear something from the back. Is that a boombox? I hear the button being pressed once again, and the noise from the tape stops. Taking a look, I see that there's a cassette tape in the boombox. I eject it and notice that it's labeled A. Again. We have no choice, just listen. I rewind the tape and press the play button. And immediately a shuddering voice echoed. It hurts. Give it back. More screaming. A girl screaming fills the room and then it finally goes quiet. We hear silence for a bit, then... I see. Don't worry, it's just your legs. I'm knowledgeable in treatment as well. But now... The man's calm voice is cut off by the tape stopping. I double-check to make sure the tape's done and then eject it. Just listening to it makes me sick. Yeah, seriously. The screams were buried in my ear. Why are just your legs and knowledgeable in the fields of treatment important? Thinking about it, the owner of the mansion, Yakumo Miroku, was aspiring to be a surgeon. Is the male voice on the tape Miroku? I look over and notice there's another cassette next to the boombox. It's labeled Tape H. Why is this here? Maybe I'll hang on to it. This one. Where I listen to this one. I put tape H in the boombox. I press the play button, but it only spins the tape. It doesn't seem like the sound's going to play. I wait for a bit, but there was no indication that the phone was going to ring. I take out tape H. So I think I may have been closer to being on the right track there, but still not really. Let's go to the other side, see if anything moved around here. A new doll, perhaps. A doll again. I know this doll wasn't here before. I'm starting to be convinced of Rose's theory about the other Miroku residents. Taking a look at the clothes it's wearing, I can see a light stain on the abdomen. Maybe I'll give it a try. I slowly breathe out to bring my fingertip closer to the stain on the clothes. I'm hearing what sounds like crying again. And from afar, a girl's voice saying, "I'm cold, Mom." This time I hear words I can understand. Cold? Did this doll say that? Yeah, I heard it clearly this time. Cold Mom. If only there was a climate control in here, like we get that lucky. If there's no solution here, then I guess we'll just have to carry this somewhere. Carry the doll? Guess I'll do it. Here we go. I steady myself and carry the doll. Feels heavier than an actual child. Sorry, but I'll leave this to the youngin'. My hip's not exactly what it used to be. Damn it, you owe me for this. Alright, now the question is, where should I carry it to? I carry the doll. Can't investigate while carrying it. So, is there somewhere in here I can put it? Entering the bedroom, my eyes immediately shift toward the bed. Those blankets are obviously high quality. I'm sure she won't be cold in that. Alright, there it is. I'll lay it down on the bed in the back. You move the blanket aside. Sure, I can do that. Okay, here you go. I lay the doll on the sheets and place the duvet over it. Well, how's it going? Is it satisfied? Let me ask her again. I put my fingertip under the blanket. I heard a crying voice again. And that voice. It's cold, Mom. It's no use, she's saying the same thing. Wait. I realized that I was overlooking something important. Mom. Say what? I think she wants a mother? No way that's happening. If you wring both of us dry, you wouldn't get a single motherly drop out of us. You got that right. Well, the doll isn't satisfied. Now what should we do? So is the doll still there, or how does this thing work? Like, the one saving grace here is that this area is so small. You don't have to go that far in order to do the partner swap. You're back.
問題ない
Okay, I have a plan, guys. I'll be the lookout. You two go in there and straighten this mess out. Rose, stick to the mission here. All right, let's get going. Okay, I'm gonna be replaying a little bit of this just because there was more noise behind me than in the game, which kind of takes you out of the mood. Doll wants some other. Hey, Rose, sorry, can you handle this? Rose grimaces. But I have an image to uphold. Sorry, but we don't really have time to care about things like that right now. Fine, but only because you're my disciple. I know I'm the one asking you to do this, but what are we supposed to do here? Essentially, we need the doll to feel some motherly warmth. I think an imitation of breastfeeding would be best. Wait, seriously? You're going to... No, I'm not going to actually feed it. I'll just sleep next to it and lull it to sleep, just like mothers do. Like this. Slipping under the blanket next to the doll, Rose speaks to it as she rubs its head. You must have been so scared. It's all right now. Mom's here with you. There's nothing to worry about anymore. The scary dream is over now. Hush now. Go to sleep. I hear a clack from the mask. Hey, Line. Rose crawls out of the blanket. She's holding onto a dog mask. It just came off on its own. Maybe this means that the doll has been released from her thoughts. Now that she mentions it, I remember the mask coming off on its own when I gave the doll fruit. Yeah, maybe. Oh, and there's this as well. Hand towel. What's this? It was wrapped around the doll's mouth. I assume it must have been used as a gag. The screams I heard in the tape replay themselves in my head. But I pick up the doll from the bed. Rose helps me, we put it back in the living room where it was originally. I don't know why. But in case you're wondering about the significance of the towel, every true ghost hunter knows where their towel is, just like every true hitchhiker. So we need to go ahead and toss the mask up here. Use the drill. Once again, the entrance to the secret passage appears. As expected. If our working theory is correct, there should be another Miroku residence ahead. That's right. Come on, let's go. Enter the passage. Went through the front door. As we thought, the door in the secret passageway connects to the front entrance of the residence. The entrance doesn't look any different aside from the passageway entrance being closed. When I enter the room, I hear the sound of someone knocking on the front entrance door. Who's there? Is it Bon? No, he has a cell phone. Let's go check just in case. Going outside. Bon is staying around being a good lookout. What, looking for something? No. Hey, did someone come by just now? The hell? What are you talking about? I mentioned the sound that I just heard. Kind of felt like someone was delivering the mail or something. So I came to check just in case. Well, obviously nobody's been here. If the knock was that loud, then I would have heard it too. You didn't hear it? Nope. Considering everything else going on with this place, there must have been some sort of reason. Maybe you should take a quick look outside. Yeah, I'll do that. So, as they imply, mailbox. Digging around, my hand bumps into something. It's a cassette tape labeled S and a sparkler. I understand the tape, but why is there a sparkler in here? Looking closer, I see scorch marks on the tip of the firework. Looks like it was lit, but the flame went out before it reached the end. Well, the obvious answer would be harassment. He probably didn't talk to his neighbors much. I see. Grab Bon. How did it go in there? Alright, Rose, you're on lookout.
問題ない
Leave it to me. Au revoir, I'll see you both later. Alright, let's go. Kind of wonder if in the Japanese version she spoke English instead of French, and they just did the French thing to keep the whole exotic vibe she was going for. I put tape S into the boombox. I press the play button and let out a sigh. There's a long period of idle sounds, then a scream along with a loud noise. How could you? Why? The sounds make me gnaw my lips. I never thought it'd be so stressful just to listen to screams. The girl repeatedly screams, "Give it back." I don't want to imagine what she wants back. Soon the scream grew distant, and I hear a man's voice once again. I see. No need to worry, it's just one arm. Let's take our time and cut it while I treat it. The sound cuts off there. I think I finally understand what this man was doing to these girls. It's clear from the other tapes that he's been cutting off the hands and legs of the victims. He's even saying, "while I treat it," so... His objective isn't to murder. His objective of cutting off their arms and legs must be something else. I don't get it. Why the hell would anyone need to cut the arms and legs off of anyone? Obviously, this isn't a question that any sane person can answer. It is met by a suffocating silence. Let's investigate some more. Typo. Feels like we're slowly getting closer to finding that reason. So I don't know if you guys get startled by this, but just a heads up, the room's gonna be different. There will be a doll here. Surprise. Just a word of warning in case you were sensitive to that type of thing. I find another unfamiliar doll sitting in front of the coffee table. Here we go again. Something about this doll immediately jumps out as different. Is this one naked? This doll doesn't seem like it's wearing clothes. And just like the other dolls, there's a red stain on it. Maybe I can hear this doll's voice. I take a deep breath, move my fingertip towards the stain on its back. I hear some sniffling and crying. Then I begin to hear a quiet voice. I want to go to school. They never make this easy, do they? I think the voice I heard was saying, "I want to go to school." But how would I make that wish come true? If only we had a Seifuku to give them, you know? I take out the sailor uniform and put it on the doll. Seems like you're having a tough time. I'll help. Putting clothes on a doll ends up being a lot tougher than I thought. Working together, the two of us finally managed to push the hands and legs through. Who knew dressing up a doll was such hard work? Damn. This is probably tougher because this heavy doll isn't helping us at all. I step back and there's another typo. I step back and I look at how it turned out. The ticking of the clock and silence continue to drone on and on. That's weird. Nothing's happening. Is a school uniform not enough? Well, this isn't a school. Seriously? I don't want to think about taking this doll out of here and taking it to a school. The closest school is pretty far from here. Hey, Light, sit next to her. Huh? What are you talking about, old man? Listen, just shut up and sit down. Also, I'm not Bon. From now on, call me Mr. Bon. You got that? Or Bon-sensei?
Huh?
Say what? Though it feels ridiculous, I sit down next to the doll as Bon ordered. Alright, let's review what we learned in our history lesson last time. So when did Columbus make it to America? Light, what's the answer? Bon, pretending to be a teacher, calls on me like I'm a student in his class. What the hell? Something about the ocean blue. Right, 1942. Or 1492, right? Good, I'm glad you reviewed what you learned. Alright, next question, I'll ask you. Bon points at the doll and throws out a question. What year was the Emancipation Proclamation signed? However, the doll continues to stay silent. Fine. I guess I can help keep this going for a bit. Yo, Mr. Bond, don't you think that question is too difficult for an elementary schooler? Good point. My bad. You're doing a terrible job as a teacher. What did you say? You runt? That's no way to talk to a teacher. What kind of teacher calls a student a runt? Jeez. That's it. Come here, you little... Oh, you want to fight, you fraud? Then the next moment... With a clack sound, the doll's mask comes off. Hey, did you see that? No way. All it took was a half-assed act like that? What are you talking about? This was a class lesson no matter how you slice it. I was teaching my ass off here. I'll have you know that I got a teaching license from my college days. Wouldn't trust it. Well, as it happens, you don't count. Anyway, it worked. You should show some more gratitude. Obtain monkey mask. Hey, there's something else on the floor. Shine the light around my feet, I see. Hard shoes. I don't know about the shoes, but this mask is probably for... Yep, probably. Let's give it a try. So, we need to leave the room. Go outside. Grab her. Basically, whenever you do something with one of the characters, you need to go grab the other one because the whole gimmick here is just
問題ない
swapping back and forth, like some sort of boring Groundhog Day thing. Toss the mask. The entrance to the secret passageway appears. This is the same as always. I wonder if the interior is the same as well. I feel like Rosé was trying to imply something with those words. Let's just be careful and move forward. I step into the secret passageway and immediately notice something strange. Hey, is this? The walls are covered in red streaks that look like someone was cleaning off a brush. Is this blood? Looks like it. This seems to like a situation that calls for your special abilities. Right. I just finished adjusting my breathing, so I reached towards a section of the bloodstains. A scream shrieks down directly above our heads. It's even more high-pitched than the one at the entrance, and it hits me like a lightning bolt. My vision immediately goes white, and all strength drains from my limbs. I have to move immediately or I'll die. But do I still have the strength to escape? Hey, who needs strength to escape, but you can always duck and cover? No, I don't have enough strength to escape. Then I should choose something that will let me stall death for even a second longer. I hold my head and fall on top of the big bloodstain. Then, is this the memory from that blood? My bloodmetry activates. The screaming voice disappears and I hear the high-pitched cry of a bird. It sounds like it's communicating with others. Was that a crane cry? The friendly cranes were calling out to each other. If that's the clue to stop the sound, then what should I do? Let's have one bird call out to the other. Hey, Rosé. I tell Rosé to scream through gestures. Scream, pretend you're a bird and scream. It looks like my message gets through because Rosé rears back and screams. However, I can't hear it at all. Damn it, I guess this is it. My despair turns to resignation and then my consciousness leaves me. Same as me. That's all I hear as I slip into darkness. unknown amount of time passes. Someone's voice brings me back to my senses. Are you awake, Light? I take a second to gather my senses. Did the screaming stop? What are you talking about? Yes, it stopped thanks to your advice. And, well, also thanks to my voice training. Never knew I could scream so loudly. So that means... I see, so we're saved. Unfortunately, this is neither heaven nor the river Styx. We are still living out this current life. As long as I'm alive, I don't care. Anyway, I look up at the ceiling of the passageway. That scream, it came from directly above us, right? Yeah, that's what it felt like. I guess that there's a room above here. But it doesn't look like there's a ladder hidden anywhere. Hey, you alright? Yeah, it's nothing too serious. I just strained my throat from all that screaming. I watch Rose rubbing her throat. I can tell she has yelled herself raw. Which is to be expected after belting out a scream like that. Never expected I would have to match a crane's cry with just my voice. Some pieces mimic cranes with a shakuhachi or kokyu, but I never heard it done vocally. Shakuhachi, is that the flute made of bamboo, right? What's a kokyu again? You're a high schooler, so what's a crude comparison I could give you? It's like a Japanese violin. You pluck the pulled strings with a bow to make sound, so it's very similar to the violin. I see, I'll keep that in mind. Yes, please embrace knowledge. I also hope that your desire to learn will be reflected on your next report card. Now, let's get back to investigating. Yeah, we're still running out of time. The other Miroku residence should be just ahead, right? True. Well then, let's go. Just as we thought, the secret passage connects to the front entrance of the Miroku residence. But the entrance here has an obvious difference to the front entrance from earlier. Look. There are more of these frames. I see. This is starting to get interesting. Let's get the mask out. At that moment, the cell phone vibrated. Right, it's almost. Pity, we're out of time for tonight. Hey, it's me. Time to get out of here. Alright, let's go back. This is pretty good for today. Let's go. Hey, Bon, we're back. Hey, Rose, what's wrong with your voice? What happened? Were you rocking out or something? Light, I'll leave this one to you. You explain how I saved us. I have no idea what she's talking about. We tell him what happened in the mansion. The 3 dolls and the 3 tapes and the screaming in the hidden passageway. That scream again, huh? Yes, but this was worse than before. It was trying to kill us. This may seem rude to Rose, but I'm really glad I didn't go with you. Squawking like a bird just isn't me. If it was you and me, we'd probably be dead right about now. Hey, give me a break. I'm not dying an unsatisfying death like that. Getting back to what we uncovered tonight, those 3 tapes are fascinating. Each one recorded a man dismembering a girl as she screamed and pleaded. What a grotesque hobby. However, he didn't seem like he was just a sadistic deviant. He sounded pretty calm and kept saying things like, I want to make it so you don't die. He also seemed to be very knowledgeable about what he was doing. So it's pretty likely that Miroku's on the tapes. Before he became a children's author, he wanted to be a surgeon. The dots connect. If I recall, Miroku wrote horror-themed fairy tales. I'm quite curious to see how he tied the dismemberments into his work. Well, I'm absolutely fine never knowing the answer to that. I've read some of his major works myself, but there wasn't anything as weird as that in them. I don't know about these other books, though. Most of the stuff's out of print. Seems we'd be more likely to find his insanity and inquisitiveness in his minor works, then. Hey, Light. From what I heard from Bon, your aunt's also a horror novelist. You don't mean... You want me to ask her about Yakumo Miroku? She might know some dark tidbits that only someone who traveled his circles would know. We won't know unless we try. See what happens when you ask her casually. Alright, it's up to you. Alright, enough chatter for today. Time to split up. Getting called in for questioning would be a real pain. Alright, it's all up to you, Light. Au revoir. I say goodbye to them and return to Kisoji Station and head over to the Black Rabbit. I wonder if Aunt Natsume will be there. Hero, what are you doing here at this hour? Her cheeks are looking kind of reddish and her eyes are cloudy. She must have had quite a bit of drink. To each their own. You're so nice. I guess you and Satomi are alike that way. I don't want to talk about my mom. I don't have any good memories of life with my real mother. She was nice enough, but she couldn't hold down a job, so we lived in poverty. Until Amanome helped me find a part-time job, there were even days when we didn't eat. Anyway, there's something I want to ask you. Do you know an author named Yakumo Miroku? Huh? Where'd you hear that name? A friend of mine is interested in him. Thought you might know him since you write horror novels. Is that so? Yes, I know Miroku well. I loved his books when I was younger. Aunt Natsume starts talking without me having to lead her much, probably because she's drunk. Nobody can deny her the right to occasionally drink her pain away for at least a little while. Miroku used existing fairy tales as motifs to build his own horror books. Did you know the Grimm's fairy tales originally had some horrible scenes in them? The famous story of Cinderella is no exception. Her stepsisters cut their feet to try and make the glass slipper fit. And by cut their feet, she means like cut toes off and everything, not just a little scratch or something. They cut their own feet? Yes, that's right. Even if they were doing it to try to marry a prince, that's some serious resolve. It's probably just coincidence that she chose that particular example. And after listening to those tapes, it didn't leave me with a good feeling. When I was a schoolgirl, I was obsessed with Miroku's Dark Fairy Tale series. He put some bold, dark spins of Japanese folktales, just like the Grimm brothers. His unique settings and descriptions earned him a lot of passionate fans. He was pretty amazing, huh? Yes, in some sense he's a genius. Because they're children's stories, they have an informal style, and yet they're so realistic. His descriptions of bone, flesh, and blood were so vivid, they sent chills up my spine. You don't say. I'm sure Miroku knew a ton about bone, flesh, and blood. Miroku studied medicine before he became an author. I'm sure he was influenced by that. It's pretty weird for a doctor to become an author. His family might have pushed him to become a doctor against his wishes. A lot of his relatives are important members of society. He himself hated worldly things like fame and money. Is that enough background on Miroku? Yeah, that's enough. I didn't think you'd know so much about him. He was my inspiration to become a horror novelist. But I have to say that Satomi was a much more passionate fan of his than I was. I remember that she'd go to great lengths to learn more about him. My mom was that interested in him? I thought Yakumo Miroku was a total stranger, but now I'm learning that he's surprisingly connected through my aunt and late mother. We've been talking for a while now. You should get home. You're gonna stay here long? Yeah. Even if I went home, Ami's not there anyway. Aunt Natsume. I'm going to lie down in the back. After all, I'll be busy first thing in the morning. Good night. She gets up and walks unsteadily to the inner door, disappearing behind it. I lock the front door of the Black Rabbit and start walking home. As I stroll down the dark roads, I pray that Aunt Natsume can get some sleep. Aw, man, there's gonna be another D-mail. Bite the bullet. Where is it? A text. I open the message. How are you? It's D-Man. I've prepared your next riddle. Feed the souls of triplets to the monster that consumes souls. Triplets. Yeah, I'm a little tired for this crap right now. It was this? I searched the trash bins by the convenience store. Damn it, why the hell am I doing this again? Light catches on something in the trash. That's gotta be it. In each of the trash bins, there are coins mixed in with the trash. 3 coins. What was the other part? Feed the souls of triplets to the monster that consumes souls. Okay, if this is what I think it is, we need to go back to the very beginning, because they'd like to make me walk. I enter the booth and insert the 3 coins into the slot. Then, suddenly the machine roars to life. Wait, what the hell? Stepping out, I find a card in the picture pickup slot. In case you're wondering, the whole soul thing gave me flashbacks to an episode of Rurouni Kenshin where I can't remember the martial artist, the guy in white. Zabuza, I think is what he's... or no. Yeah, I can't remember his name. He always flipped out at the camera thinking it was going to eat his soul. Oh man, I can't remember. He starts off the giant halberd, and then after Kenshin breaks, he uses his fists, but I can't figure out his name. Oh well. I lower my gaze to the writing on the card. Rabbit Island. Southeast of Tokyo, at the end of the Izu Island chain, an island made up of 100 tiny islands isn't on any map. It's called Rabbit Island. Currently uninhabited. The factories and ruins there indicate people had lived there previously. The only residents are numerous rabbits, and it's said that travelers and fishermen who visit are welcomed by them. Upon further investigation, I couldn't find anyone who had visited. When the rumor had spread or where it came from, official agencies gave me the cold shoulder. Thanks to Mr. K, the investigation has made significant progress in recent years. His family used to supply the military during the war, mostly with antiquities. The only living items, around 10 rabbits, Mr. K's grandfather raised as a hobby. What the military did with them is unknown, but soon after the war, the family received a request to retrieve them. The letter only had a map with an X marked on a patch of ocean. Mr. K and his grandfather had always thought the rabbits had drowned along with a warship. But I realized something when he showed me the map. That's right, it was the location of the rumored Rabbit Island. Things got strange after that. Mr. K, the ex-detective, and I decided to head to the last of the Izu Islands with some assistance. Now that I think about it, Mr. K had a bad feeling about it, which ended up being proven correct. But I won't tell you the source of his bad feeling for now. The island was indeed there and full of rabbits. We discovered that the place felt frozen in time. Memories of horrific battles remained. Human experiments, cannibalism, atrocities beyond imagination made it a natural Eichmann site. It's slightly different from what you're facing now. Only slightly? Man, he's putting serious effort into this. Guess I'll go home. I solved D-Man's riddle, and so I head home feeling pretty satisfied with myself. Several tapes contain I wanted to read that, man. I'm gonna have to look at this in editing. Anyway, several tapes contain terrifying... Huh? Oh, no, the spacing on the lines made me think there was something hidden here, but it's actually like that for all of them. Page 55. Several tapes contain terrifying yelling of kill. Little girl kidnapped, her arms and legs were severed. I want to make sure she won't die. What does that mean? I heard the scream of the screaming author. Rosé screamed back. Would I have died if she didn't? I'm tired. I knew it. Who could be calling this late? So here's our deathmatch thing in the apartment. Hello? Hey, who the hell are you? You better cut this out. Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. Damn it, it's the one from yesterday. Bet I'll be waiting for a call all night again. May as well take a shower first. Yeah, I'm kinda done. Speaking of, do I have anything to drink after I get out? That's right, without Amanome, we don't have any exotic drinks anymore. I open the fridge and look inside. Nothing. I'll go get something from the vending machine. Closest vending machine is in front of the cemetery. Seriously? What kind of idiot puts a vending machine outside a cemetery? What should I get? The light coming from the machine is kind of creepy. What are you going to get? We'll get this one in memory of Amanome. It's a new Cafe au lait product with nata de coco in it. I buy 2 bottles of nata de coco au lait. Okay then, time to head back. As I turn to go, a warm, damp breeze blows past me. That breeze was gross. Nothing on caller ID, huh? Let it go to voicemail. Hello? Damn it, again with the silent call. Probably the same one from earlier. Wonder how they'll react to the silent treatment back. What is this? Sounds familiar. It's TV static. Just like what I heard coming from next door yesterday. Wait, why am I hearing this on the phone? Where's this call coming from? An ominous thought pops in my head as if they sensed it. The call ends abruptly. I better hurry home. Rushing into my room, I quickly scan to see if anyone's there. No one. Guess that call wasn't coming from here after all. Man, I'm exhausted. Time for a quick shower. I forgot to turn it off again? Man, I'm exhausted. What the hell? She's doing her whole whisper, don't look thing. It's the neighbors again. That one was too brief to enjoy. Guess I just imagined it. Look at the mirror when it blinks through. If they even show that CG again. I feel better now. Time to have the drink I bought earlier. I sit on my bed and have drink a nata de coco au lait. The au lait tastes good, but most of the nata de coco is stuck to the bottom of the can. Oh well. Finally, time to relax. Alright, time to read for a bit. Someone's up in this room. Like, someone's out of place. Eh? I look out the window, but nothing really catches my eye. Something's written super tiny on here. What does it say? Don't look. What is this? The writing's creepy enough, but the wallpaper by the words is stained and peeling. Is there something underneath? Should I peel off the wallpaper? Farewell to the security deposit. What's the stain? That don't look. The voice on the phone said the same thing. Please don't look inside. So, was that shadow we saw at the Miroku residence? No caller ID again. I'll just reject the call. Fuck, not again. Calls won't stop and it's getting on my nerves. I'm pulling out the battery. I turn off my phone and remove the battery. This one too now? Better disconnect this one too. Ignoring the call, I yank the power cord from the outlet. But the ringing doesn't stop. But I unplugged it. Abruptly, the ringing stops, but then the receiver starts to make noise. I think that translates to you only had one job. What the? The screaming is the same as we heard at the Miroku residence. The instant splitting headache almost knocks me unconscious. I won't last if I can't get the voice to stop soon. Phone. Meet fist. What if I destroy it? I shuffle over on my hands and knees and smash the phone with my fist. Break, damn it! Break, 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 break! I punch the phone over and over, burying the pain, and by the time the phone's lost its shape, the screaming's already stopped. Somehow I escaped, but not with the security deposit. That screaming, is it the spirit from the Miroku residence? Nothing else better happen for the rest of the night. Crisis, averted. I suck in a deep breath. Man, am I exhausted. Shit, I need to rest before I clean this mess. Collapsed into my bed, I quickly feel my consciousness fading away. Can't keep my eyes open. So why are the curtains open? So this time you'll actually get to see me do the save. You can see... no you won't. So I'm going to hop over to the title screen so you can see the CG that flashed very, very briefly. And then I'll also get to answer some of the questions you guys had. So you asked about death scenes. This is a death scene. I thought there was one if you drown. Yeah, right here. I don't know if there's one if Kubitaro gets you. Apparently not. But if you didn't see when this flashed on the arm reaching out, and notice it's a doll arm. You can tell by the elbow.